Those of you who don't know it, Brian played at Disney theme parks for 3 consecutive summers to help pay for college. In 1975, he was in a show called It's Broadway Again at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, where he performed 407 times in 3 months. The following summer, the 1976 bicentennial year, Brian was the keyboard player for Disney's All-American College Singers and Show Band. They played on the Tomorrowland stage, over 270 performances. In 1977, he was invited back as the assistant musical director for the group. He was in charge of the show band. That summer, the group performed directly in front of the castle. And you know what makes this even more special? He hasn't been back to the Magic Kingdom since then. So tonight is really a homecoming for him. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome musical mouseketeer extraordinaire, Kawai executive and MTNA Foundation chair and fellow, Mr. Brian Chung.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Gary. Can you imagine how scared I am right now? A room full of piano teachers. What am I doing here? But I'm just honored tonight. So glad to be with you, and in a different role for the first time here at the gala. It's a privilege for me to represent my company, Kawai, and have a chance to play this wonderful Shigeru Kawai concert grand for you this evening. In 51 days, on May 8th, I will celebrate my 30th anniversary with the Kawai Company. 30 years. Amazing. And before I go on, I do want to convey the thanks. If I can get the screen up here our global president, if I can see this right, our global president, Hirataka Kawai, whose picture I wanted to show you, wanted me to express special greetings tonight to all of you on this special occasion and to tell you how appreciative he is of all that you do for the world of music. So from Mr. Kawai to you, thank you. Well, actually, my whole history with MTNA, I owe to Kawai. It was 1995, and I was invited to be a member of the MTNA Foundation Board of Directors. Not because I was a pianist or a teacher, but because I was a senior VP at Kawai. The reality is, I didn't even know what MTNA was before that invitation. At the beginning of my board term, I felt like a fish out of water, kind of an outsider. But it wasn't long before I became aware of all the ways MTNA nurtures and supports the musical community. I began to understand its vision and believe in its mission. And as I got to know the people, many of you who I've grown to really care about over these years, I began to understand that MTNA might be something that could help me regain a part of me that I'd lost. You see, once upon a time, there was a little boy, a little Asian boy, whose mom used to have a scrapbook of memories and pictures of him from year to year. And every year, that little book would ask the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And that little boy would write in there in big letters with exclamation points, musician. But over the decades, those letters, those big letters, would fade. And they would be overwritten with other letters, like MBA and VP. And the little boy almost disappeared. But later in life, he came across something called MTNA that helped him reconnect with himself and with others who had the same musical heart. And it gave him opportunities to speak and to encourage, which led to other opportunities to compose and arrange and to teach, to serve others in the cause of music making. Most importantly, MTNA reminded him that at his very core, he was first and foremost a musician. You, the people of MTNA, have helped to bring that little boy back. And for that, I will forever be grateful. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, let's turn a page on this, if I can get back up to the top. If I forget. Real quick, okay, real quick. I want to introduce you to my musical colleagues tonight. On bass, Mr. Hunter Guthrie. On drums, Mr. Barry Smith. I met Barry this afternoon at 4 o'clock. And Hunter's going to perform for you right now that classic Asian piece, Tuning, right? Okay, you all know that one already, don't you? Okay, all right. All right, so as I mentioned, this segment could be called How I Spent My Summer Vacations. Gary already told you, whoops, wait, I'm not supposed to show you that one yet. Gary already told you, 407 shows at Cedar Point in Ohio, and I thought to myself, man, playing my way through college is fun. So when I heard Disney was auditioning for this All-American College Singers and Show Band, I drove to Chicago, auditioned, and 7 months later, there I was, okay? Look at the cool aviator glasses, huh? Aren't they great? Yeah. I had never been to Disney World before, and I thought I was this wide-eyed guy from Michigan who thought he'd hit the jackpot, right? There's me on the right with some of our singers. All the singers doing their typical Disney thing. We're all blurry after 40 years. So that's me. This is our band. There were 8 of them. I don't know where the bass player went that day, but here is us, all of us on the stage in the Tomorrowland area with People Mover in the background, right? We were just college students living the dream. But there are something that wasn't all fun. Reality is not all fun because you got to do a show, right? You got to put a show together, which is not easy. So think about this. Where do you rehearse on those last days to do the blocking and get the sound right? In the park that's full. Tomorrowland's full all the time. What do? You rehearse from 11 o'clock p.m. to 7 a.m. Grueling 5 days of getting it ready. And then you get all excited about day one, the show. You're just all pumped up to do it. 11 o'clock, Monday morning, the drummer goes, yet-up, boom. Brian touches the keyboard, which, by the way, it's daytime. It's been baking in the Florida sun for 2 hours, and it's burn, baby, burn, okay? It's like steak sizzling on a grill, and I go, boom, and I scream. Nobody hears me, and I could do nothing. It's a 17-minute show. I had to play it. I got through it. Mostly with my fingernails. That's what you do. At the end of it, I ended up playing a week of shows with bandages, 2 layers of bandages on my hands. It's kind of crazy. But look, when you work at Disney, the perks are great. I mean, what do you do on your days off? You go to Disney World. And one time I got to be, guess which one? These are 2 characters from Bambi. You get to be a character once when you were in the program I was in. Guess what I lucked out? That's Thumper and Flower. Lucky me, I was Flower, the skunk. Yeah, 115 degrees in that suit, believe it or not. All right, so I must have done a pretty good job that first summer because they made me a manager the next year, came back as assistant manager. You trade in your vest for a suit the next year, and we did perform in front of the castle. Really fun with some pretty amazing people. The keyboardist, who was my keyboardist for that year, ended up doing 166 episodes as composer for the show Jag. I don't know if you ever watched Jag. And the lady who's second lady from the right became a star. We all thought she was going to be a star. She was the second lead in Urban Cowboy with John Travolta and Deborah Winger. Her name is Madeline Smith, and she was just marvelous. Anyway, 42 years later, after that picture was taken, I'm just delighted to be back here in the world of Disney. One thing before we start to play is just one thing I learned at Disney World. Disney has tunnels all underneath, and there's this studio where a lot of us used to hang out. And the guy in charge of all sound at Disney was named Tom Durrell back then. I used to hang out with Tom, and one night he invited me to watch him do the parade. When he said, do the parade, do all the sound for the parade. So I walked in, massive board and an even bigger screen on top, and he said, here, Brian, watch this. And he showed me, here's where the parade's going, here's where the sound's going to be, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, what's over there? He pressed the button, and I saw what was happening in Tomorrowland. He pressed another button, and I heard what was happening in Fantasyland. And as he pressed all those buttons, the amazing thing is that Disney World is literally filled with music. And I understood something really important that night, that what makes Disney parks magical? What makes them some of the happiest places on earth? It's the music. It's the music. And you can apply that to life, can't you? You want to make life magical? You fill it with what we bring to the world. You fill it with music. So, in the interest of trying to do something magical tonight, I put together this humble little medley of 8 classic Disney songs, which I hope you'll enjoy. Walt Disney brought wonderful songs to the world, but one that you all know goes like this.
Orlando. We have to do this together, at least once. Sing with me, would you? Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. MIC, real soon. KY, why? Because we like you. Stretch this out. Oh.
Thank you.